Hello, I'm Edward Goodliffe and welcome to Untie the Right video number 3. Now what I have for you this time is a bit different to my last two videos. I've actually got a guest speaker who I want you to hear, and let me just give you a little bit of background. You will have heard me mention how the Wildrose party was formed way back by a few individuals that got together who were thoroughly disgusted with the way the Progressive Conservative Party had betrayed everyone, and they went out to start a new party. What I didn't tell you was that I was one of the people at the founding meeting when we came up with the name Wildrose. Now, some of the other people have remained active in the Wildrose throughout its being, and one of those people is Sharon Maclise. And today I went over to see Sharon and I recorded her talking about this unity deal. And so she is coming up right now. So here is Sharon Maclise.
My name is Sharon Maclise. I'm a founding member of the Wildrose Party and was the VP membership of the original executive of the Wildrose Society in 2007. I helped orchestrate the collection of 6,500 signatures to start the party. There are a dozen reasons that this unity initiative is corrupted. Many of us share reasons in common, but each of us have our own personal stories that confirm how bad it has been. I will tell you mine. Early on, when Brian Jean first started pushing unity, I spoke with him about the message he was sending, asking him why he was talking about a merger with the just recently defunct PC Party. This was, I now know, well after he had already registered a new party under the Societies Act and had laid out his plans in a private email to friends and cohorts within our party, but he did not share that with me or any of the Wildrose members at that time. When I asked him why he was throwing a lifeline to the PC Party, a party that had been soundly rejected by the electorate and that was deep in debt and on its last legs, he answered me this way: "Oh, don't worry, Sharon, it's never going to happen. But we have to send a message that we're willing to try because," now listen carefully, wait for it, because this is a quote, "the people with the money want us to do this." I was, needless to say, a little flabbergasted. I know politicians cater to people with the money all the time. After all, we'd had years of it with the PC Party. But it was rare to hear one of them actually say this out loud. Granted, we were talking privately, but still he had no reason to think that I would not share this explanation with others. It turns out I was more naive than I even realized. The leadership of both the merging parties seemed not to mind the public knowing that they're doing this in order to follow the money. And big money. After all, we now know that over $200,000 of Wildrose member donations, money you and I took from our families to give to the party we believed in and trusted, is now being tossed into the garbage bin because we are told it is peanuts, as one big unity pusher said to me recently, compared to what we will get from the big boys. Indeed, one of the biggest lobbyists in support of the unity agreement that Brian Jean has hired is the Alberta Association of Petroleum Producers. It no longer seems to be taboo to be in the back pocket of corporate Alberta or corporate Canada. So the rest is history. Jean proceeded to go from "it's never going to happen" to "it's never going to happen unless it happens under the banner structure and constitution of the Wildrose Party" to "forget about the Wildrose Party. We have a much better, elitist, top-down, hand-picked few to offer you all the answers to all of your questions and to make all the decisions." But that was not all. Jean had one more trick up his sleeve. He finally got to denouncing the naysayers with a moral threat. "You'd better pass this unity agreement because if you don't, the voters will punish us." It has been one of the most insidious, cynical performances on the part not just of Brian Jean, but of Jason Kenney, of the PC Party, but after all, we have come to expect that of the PC Party, and even the invasive federal CPC, which has now interfered at every level with the business of our provincial politics. Let's be honest here. Jason Kenney and the PCs have nothing to lose and everything to gain, just as they did when Jim Prentice and Danielle Smith and 90% of our caucus got into bed with one another in 2014. Before Jean decided to throw them a lifeline, the PCs were on their last legs, not knowing where the money was going to come from to pay off their debts. So of course they would want to absorb a healthy, fiscally rich party like the Wildrose. But it is utterly baffling why the leader, mind you, of the only credible, strong and growing Conservative party in Alberta would want to dismantle it for the benefit of this publicly demoralized PC party. From the point of view of the general public, Wildrose is not saddled with the baggage the PCs are. So the only conclusion I can come up with is that our leaders are being bought off by the people with the money. Is this what we want the legacy of the honest, eternally struggling against all odds Wildrose party to be? I think not. I know I sure don't. So please decide against this dishonorable unity agreement. Let's preserve Wildrose and make it the only home for all true Alberta Conservatives. Please vote no on July 22nd to the unity agreement.